I'm very, very excited to introduce our first speaker of the day. I mean, I already kind of hinted at it. We've all been waiting for it. Our first speaker to take the stage today is the CEO and founder of Ad Outreach, an 8-figure company that helps businesses and entrepreneurs leverage the power of YouTube advertising. So he got into YouTube 12 years ago and actually grew the largest app review channel with over 500,000 subscribers called App Find. Then about 7 years ago, he's like, I'm gonna investigate this little thing called YouTube advertising, and started helping clients, of course, advertise on YouTube. He has helped thousands of businesses around the world earn a collective $100 million in revenue from YouTube advertising. And this morning, he is getting up here to share his best kept YouTube advertising secrets with us. So please put your hands together for Aleric Heck.
Awesome. So I am very excited to dive into my strategy of how you can skyrocket your leads and sales using laser-targeted YouTube ads that are scientifically designed to convert. And what I'm actually going to be showing you is our 3D targeting strategy that I have found to be the secret to high-performing YouTube ads. So first, let's dive in a little bit. Let's deal with the elephant in the room right now. You've probably noticed that your ad costs are rising on a lot of platforms. And especially if you're advertising on Facebook, especially after the recent iOS 14 update. And the reason for that is how Facebook actually has their algorithm dependent on all of the third-party data that comes in from all of the different applications and sites it's plugged into. Versus when we dive into YouTube, we're gonna talk about how you can actually leverage the power of first-party data that Google knows about you. So the problem is right now, most of you are advertising in a blood red ocean, and that is on your Facebook ads. And the problem is everyone is competing with each other in this red ocean, trying to get all of those scraps while the algorithm is simultaneously working against you after the recent Apple update. So what I want to talk about in this presentation is the blue ocean that stands in front of you with YouTube ads. And I'm going to break down not just why YouTube ads are powerful, but also the specific targeting strategy that we use to pinpoint the perfect person with your advertisements, and the script that you need to craft with your YouTube ad so you can actually get people interested in working with you and converting from your ads themselves. Now, maybe you've tried to explore YouTube on your own, but realize that even a blue ocean without a map and compass can be hard to navigate. And that's why I'm really excited to map out the strategy that I've used to help my clients generate over 9 figures collectively from YouTube ads, the exact same YouTube ads that I use myself to scale ad outreach to over 8 figures. So I want this presentation to be your treasure map, and I'm gonna show you exactly where to dig and where to go to find all of your leads and sales from your YouTube ads. So this is the formula we're gonna be breaking down throughout the presentation, which is how to scale to 7 or 8 figures from your YouTube ads. Now, you might already be at this point, but how would you like to add an extra 7 to 8 figures into your business from YouTube ads specifically? So we'll cover my 7 to 8 figure YouTube ads formula. We'll cover how to craft a winning script that is designed to convert, and the one key piece that most people leave out of their YouTube scripts that literally is the difference between doubling your conversions or receiving less conversions and not actually performing at the way that you want your ads to perform. We'll cover my 3D targeting strategy, which again is the secret to pinpointing the perfect people. We'll also touch on the omnipresent retargeting machine, which was kind of funny. That was, a couple of nights ago, I was, let's add a bonus in here. Let's add some omnipresent retargeting strategies that I've used as well. And then we'll show you how to package all of this together to get that exponential growth so you can add an extra 7 to 8 figures using YouTube video ads. We'll break down the new way of getting leads from your YouTube ads, how to find the right people, get the right ad in front of them in order for them to convert. And I'll be showing you exactly how this works with examples and showing you the different types of targeting options that you can use to make sure that you're reaching the right people. Now, you may have seen some of my ads online already, especially if you've heard the phrase, YouTube ads beat Facebook ads every time. That's kind of, the main ad that we've ran a lot on YouTube. So you may or may not have seen this. But the power when you leverage YouTube ads, regardless of your business, so obviously in ours, we're looking to get people to schedule phone calls. We just have these calls lining up day after day, filling the calendars. Now, I'm gonna quickly go through a couple of these examples, and I'm only showing you this to show you this is the power when you leverage YouTube ads. So for instance, Michael Gabrielli, now he has a solar-based business. He cut his lead cost for high quality leads in half, 50 to 60% lower, going from Facebook to YouTube ads. And that same ad that we helped him craft, and actually you may have seen his ad as well, especially if you're here in California, because we run a lot in California with the solar business. His ad scaled to over $850,000 a month in ad spend on YouTube, and we're actually on the track to scale it up to over $1 million a month on YouTube. So you can see that ads like this have the power to scale on YouTube when you pinpoint the right person. Here's a couple of other examples. I'm just gonna kind of go through these a little bit quickly, but you could just see the power of YouTube. You could do $1 million months. We're doing the exact same strategy with Bob Proctor and his team with their YouTube ads. Cole Gordon, a bunch of different companies that we've worked with. It's, including, working with Group Funnels. I didn't see Mike here today, but I know he's a big part of the community as well. And then obviously also Glenn and their team as well. So just a little bit of background on myself, and obviously I really appreciated the introduction earlier, but as I mentioned before, I'm Aleric from Ad Outreach and based in Austin, Texas. I've been doing YouTube for over 12 years and over 7 years using YouTube ads. We've helped our clients generate over $100 million in revenue. Now I've been featured in a lot of different places. I'm gonna kind of go through these relatively quickly. 2 Comma Club X Award, number 87 on the Inc. 5000, using these exact same strategies to scale using YouTube ads that I'm gonna be breaking down. So the background, the story that actually got me into YouTube ads was being on YouTube for such a long time. I actually started out 12 years ago by building an app review channel, which became the largest app review channel on YouTube, over 500,000 subscribers, dedicated to reviewing apps, teaching people how to use their iPhone mobile technology, tutorials. And one day, I had one particular mobile app about 7 years ago that asked me to promote their app. We promoted on the channel, they got lots of downloads. They said, well, how can we reach more people? And this was about 7 years ago, and so I set up YouTube ads back before they even had lead optimization. Everything was all manual. You had to manually optimize everything. And we got them some incredible results, and that's when I was hooked. And so since then, I've been developing and refining my YouTube ad strategy that I'm gonna be showing you today. So now we can actually dive into the meat and potatoes of exactly how to target the right people at the right time with your YouTube ads and where to dig for gold, because right now is the golden era of YouTube ads. And if you're listening to this right now, you're in this room, you have a major opportunity to get into YouTube ads before it's too late. You don't want to be that person that said, I wish I got in early on Google 10 years ago. I wish I got in early on Facebook 5 years ago. Now is the time to get in early on YouTube. And that's what I'm gonna be breaking down. So first, we do have to do a little bit of leveling the playing field here, so to make sure everybody understands the basics of YouTube ads. I'll just do this quickly, and then we'll dive into some of the advanced strategies just to make sure everybody's on the same page. So these are our classic YouTube lead ads. These are the in-stream version of ads. There's also another version as well, which are the responsive discovery ads. And you can see here, we've got our call to action button. We've got our display URL at the bottom. That's where you're trying to get people to click to actually take action on your ad itself. Desktop ads do have a banner. You can upload your own banner, or it will default to your channel banner if you don't upload a banner. And then there's also the skip ad button, which we'll talk a little bit more in a second, which is actually why you should learn to love the skip button, which we'll break down in a second here. Now, there's also a couple of different types of YouTube ads that will appear on mobile. So the first is those in-stream ads where it'll have that button underneath, or if it's landscape, it will still be at the bottom left. But then there's also a different type of ad over here. I think this is supposed to have a laser, but anyways, so there's a different type of ad over here on the right-hand side, and this is actually a new responsive YouTube ad, a discovery ad that will actually appear as people are scrolling through their feed on YouTube, and they actually have given you as a YouTube advertiser more ability to add a long-form headline and description to your ad in addition to the standard in-stream ads that already run. So you can see here, there's a couple of different ways it'll show up. Now, I mentioned before that you should learn to love the skip button, and that's because if someone skips your ad between 5 to 29 seconds, and there's also a couple other variations between 5 and 10 seconds, but if somebody skips your ad either at that 10-second or that 29-second mark, then you don't pay for it. You only pay for what's called a true view, and a true view is defined as over 30 seconds of your ad, or in a couple cases, I do have to add this asterisk, over 10 seconds of your ad, depending on the format that you're running. But what that means is if people get a taste of your ad in the first 5 seconds, and they're not interested anymore, and they click skip, you don't have to pay for it. You're only paying for the people that are actually interested in your ad, which is one of the things that makes YouTube ads so effective versus Facebook, where you're paying for every single time someone scrolls past your ad, every single impression. Now, another element that makes these YouTube ads so powerful is the learner's mindset. Now, this is really important because we're gonna actually be coming back to this a little bit later on when we talk about how to craft your winning script. It's really important to know that when people are on YouTube, they're looking to learn. Think about when you go on YouTube, you're either looking to be entertained or looking to learn. Now, what we're doing as marketers and entrepreneurs is we're targeting people that are looking to learn. We want to reach people that are trying to learn about what it is we have to offer, the problems that we solve. If people are going on YouTube and they're looking up how to lose weight, and you have a weight loss offer, or you have a supplement, or you have a diet or exercise program or fitness program, whatever it is, you can get in front of someone that actually has intent, who is in the learner's mindset. And we're gonna talk about how to actually capitalize on that in the ad itself and how to target those perfect people. Now, I call this ethically hijacking YouTube traffic, because think about this. Someone goes on YouTube, and I'm just gonna use the weight loss example because it's really easy for everybody to understand, but you can apply this to your own niche as well. Let's say somebody goes on YouTube and they look up how to lose weight. And there's all of these different videos that are there on YouTube, different exercise routines, different diets, things like that. They click on a video, but instead of that video loading, that video that might have millions of views, you can take your ad and run it directly in front of that video and actually show them a better solution than they would have otherwise seen, essentially ethically hijacking that traffic. This is very, very different than Facebook, where Facebook, it's all about a pattern interrupt. People are scrolling on Facebook, they're looking at different posts, but you're not actually getting in front of something in particular. You're looking just to add to their news feed. So you're popping up, people are interested, maybe they're not. On YouTube, someone is actively researching right now the problem that you solve. And if you get in front of them at that perfect moment, you can get them to take action and go into the rest of your funnel. So how do we do this? Let's break down what I have found. The value ad. This is the key to actually having a YouTube ad that converts. And this is an ad that actually provides genuine value and incites action. The biggest mistake entrepreneurs and marketers make when they try to create YouTube ads is they just throw spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks, right? They try all kinds of different ads. The second biggest mistake is repurposing a Facebook video ad as a YouTube ad. Now, maybe some of you have been guilty of this in the past. We see it a lot when clients come on and they've already tried YouTube ads themselves. They've oftentimes have tried their Facebook videos, which are short form videos. They're also not optimized for YouTube, and they don't follow what we have found to be the winning YouTube script format that actually gets someone to take action, right? And the third biggest mistake is just starting from scratch, having no plan, no strategy. So you need to create the proven process for your YouTube ad, and that is with our winning script formula that I'm gonna give you right now. So every winning ad has three components. You have the hook, where you capture attention, you draw people in. You have the educate section where you provide genuine value. And then you have the call to action where you say, okay, if you want more of this, you want to take action, here is the next step. Now, each of these is really important. The hook, this is your first 5 seconds that you have before someone skips your ad. Now, most people get 1/2 of this equation correct because there's actually 2 sides of this. One side of the equation is you want to pull your ideal people in, but you also want to push the people you don't want away. So you want to make sure you're pulling the right people in, but pushing the wrong people away in those first 5 seconds. If you make it too engaging, and we've actually had clients come in and they've had like flamethrowers and all this craziness at the beginning of their ad, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend, and it had all of these people watching, but they were watching because they were curious, they were entertained, but they weren't necessarily the ideal market. Versus having a hook that pulls people in based on what it is you have to offer. Now, there's a few different hooks that work really well. One is the curiosity hook. So one of our original hooks that worked really well was, what if you could ethically hijack your competitor's traffic and send it directly into your own funnel? Well, I'm gonna show you exactly how to do that using laser-targeted YouTube ads. So you can see it's a curiosity, it gets people excited. It poses a question, what if you could ethically hijack your competitor's traffic? It also pushes people who are a bad fit away. Ethically hijack competitors' traffic. People who are not in the marketing space or entrepreneurs, the people I'm looking to reach, are gonna skip that ad. They're gonna have no idea what I'm talking about. But the people that are interested are gonna love it, they're gonna be hooked, and they're gonna need to watch. Now, there's also some strong us versus them hooks. So for instance, the hook that you may have seen, which is the one that really performs the best for us right now, is YouTube ads beat Facebook ads every time. Let's face it, Facebook lead costs are going through the roof. And even when you have a great ad, they're almost impossible to scale. In this video, I'm gonna show you how you can use laser-targeted YouTube ads, ... right? So you can see that it pulls people in. Whether or not you agree with that statement from the beginning, it's gonna get people to watch because they're curious. Wait, do YouTube ads beat Facebook ads? If I'm running Facebook right now and not YouTube, what does this person have that I don't have? It'll get them to watch. But also, if you're not a marketer or entrepreneur, you don't really care YouTube ads beat Facebook ads, you're gonna skip the ad, right? So it's pulling the right people in, pushing the wrong people away. You need to capture people's attention and make sure to also prime them for the rest of your video ad. So you want to say, in this video, that's one of my favorite transition statements from the hook to the educate. So you capture people's attention and then you say, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly. That line is used in over 80% of our clients' YouTube ads. We have the hook that pulls people in. Those are all kinds of different hooks. It's gonna depend on your industry. It could be a question, could be a bold statement, could add some curiosity, right? Could be stating a problem that people have. Then in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly, and it should either be how to solve that problem or why this is the case or whatever it happens to be. And then you dive into the next part, which is the educate. Now this right here is the biggest thing that people get wrong when they create YouTube ads, is you actually have to provide genuine value to your viewers, because what platform are people on? They're on YouTube. They're trying to learn. They're in the learner's mindset. So the biggest mistake that people make with their ads is they do an ad like this. And think about the last time you may have seen one of these ads. Maybe you're running an ad like this in your business. Somebody looks up, again, I'm just gonna keep using the weight loss example. It's really easy for everybody to picture it, right? They're looking up weight loss, they see a video, right? And it has some type of hook, so it pulls people in. And then it says, is this a problem? You're looking to lose weight? Okay, well, sign up for my webinar. There's no value or substance there. Obviously, it'd have a better hook than that. But I've seen people with great hooks. It's like, great, you got my attention. But then they say, okay, now go sign up for my thing or get my free PDF, or whatever the next step is, or sign up for my webinar. But there's no value exchange there. So people are gonna watch that and they're not gonna trust that webinar. Even if they sign up for a webinar, they're not as likely to actually show up to the webinar, actually watch the webinar all the way through, because they haven't received value from the ad. This is one of the things that makes YouTube ads so different than Facebook, but it also gives you a massive competitive advantage because you can provide actual value on your YouTube ad to get people to trust you and want to learn more. This is one of the reasons, and I completely agree, that webinars are not dead. We have so many clients running webinars that have very strong show-up rates and webinar average watch time lengths that are, quite frankly, some of the best that I've heard, and other than Michael and some of the other conversations there, because what we're able to do is actually get people value on the ad before they even sign up. So if you can give someone value on your ad, people trust you to provide even more value on your webinar, and then provide even more value on a phone call, and then actually enrolling into a client, or purchasing at the end of the webinar, whatever it happens to be. So education, adding those golden nuggets is incredibly important. And then finally, the call to action. And I'll give you a key point of this in just a second, but the call to action is clear and concise, exactly what to do. And there's actually a couple of things, because we've split tested this numerous times. And there is one thing you can do in the end, in the call to action of your YouTube ad, that dramatically increases your conversions. A lot of people just don't really think about this as much. One big thing that you can do is actually show them and tell them the exact steps you want them to take after the ad. So what we'll do is we'll say, now that you've seen how powerful YouTube ads can be, I want to invite you to sign up for our free webinar where we're going to show you exactly how you can leverage YouTube ads and scale your business, XYZ. Click the link here on the screen and you'll get to a page that looks just like this. And then I actually throw the entire page over the screen on the ad. All you need to do is put in your name, email, and phone number and click sign up, and you'll get instant access, and that's for the VSL version, or choose a date and time, put in your name, email, and phone number, and you'll be able to attend our webinar where we're gonna show you exactly how you can use YouTube ads. So click the link, put in your information, you'll get to a page that looks just like this, and I will see you on the webinar, right? So you're actually framing people on what that next step is. People, when it comes to direct response marketing like this, they actually don't like surprises. If they have never seen the page before, you're gonna have a higher bounce rate. Versus if you show them on the ad your page and you say, this is exactly what you need to do to get what you want, it will boost conversions. This is a very small thing you can do to boost conversions at the end of your YouTube ad. So to recap, the winning YouTube ad formula has a hook, educate, and a call to action. Now, what I'm gonna give you as well is a little extra bonus of how you can film 5 to 10 YouTube ads, different variations, and it feels like you only filmed 2 ads. You guys would like that? That's what I wanna show you. So what you need to do is actually use what we call our Lego block strategy. So you're going to take and write down multiple hooks. You're gonna come up with multiple hooks. Like I mentioned, I had a couple hooks I gave you. We've tested dozens and dozens of different hooks. Actually, at this point, hundreds of hooks in our own business, but with clients, usually we'll test about 5 to 10 hooks when they're starting off with their YouTube ad. But a lot of people say, well, I don't wanna film 5 to 10 videos. That's gonna take a long time. You don't need to film 5 to 10 videos, because here's what you do. You have all of your hooks scripted out, you have your educate, you have your call to action. What you're able to do is film hook 1, hook 2, hook 3, just that 15 to 30 seconds, however long that hook is, hook 4, hook 5, all the way down to 5 to 10 hooks. You film all of those back to back. Then you film your educate section. And usually I do recommend filming a couple times, make sure you have a good take. Then you film your call to action, again, a couple times to have a good take, and you put all of them together like Lego blocks. Hook 1, educate, call to action. Hook 2, educate, call to action. You don't need to film an entire 3-minute long ad 5 to 10 times. All you need to do is film the individual components, and it feels like you only filmed 2 videos but you end up with 5 to 10 different variations, which is incredibly, incredibly powerful. You can have all of those together. And by the way, the best time frame for your YouTube ad should be between 2 minutes and 2 minutes and 59 seconds. So less than 3 minutes. YouTube has come out with some new guidelines around ads. They're recommending less than 3 minutes. I love to do 2 minutes, 59 seconds because I find more length actually helps because you can provide more value. So if you want a little bit of a breakdown, your hook should be anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds. Your educate anywhere from 1 to 2 minutes, and your call to action usually around 30 seconds at the end of your video. So all of that adds up to about 2.5 minutes. You can give or take a little bit of time, 2 minutes to 2 minutes and 59 seconds. Now the other component is you don't need fancy equipment or skills to record your ad. What we have found across our clients is, in fact, highly produced ads actually take away from your conversions most of the time, unless you're a major brand, right? Major brands, they do have a benefit of having, kind of those higher produced ads because people are expecting that. They have some different guidelines, things like that. But for most of us in this room, what we have found is that high produced ads where you have this kind of white drop, white backdrop, all these different elements, green screen, all of these elements here, they actually take away. And the reason for that is you need to be seen as an authentic authority in your industry. And you need to show up the same way that people are showing up on YouTube, following the platform where it is. Right? People on YouTube who are creating videos, they don't have these fancy, gigantic production studios. They're filming videos with their phone or with their webcam or with a camera that they set up on a tripod. And so what you want to do is film videos that way. We've also found that gimbal style ads actually work really well, especially if you're a coach or consultant or course creator, somebody who's selling knowledge, expertise in your industry, because people are able to connect with you. You film, they kind of feel like native ads. So there's a tool called the DJI OM4. I think there's a 5th one now. And you can get this tool that will actually connect to your phone, stabilize your phone so it looks a little bit better. It's a gimbal for your iPhone, and it creates incredible looking natural videos. Because authentic videos, those we have found convert better, especially if you're in a knowledge-based business, right? Same thing, with other types of ads as well. Now, here's another slide. I wasn't sure if I was gonna put this in here, but I think this is really important because I've heard this every time I go, and talk with different people about YouTube ads. I always hear this at least once. It's like, hey, I don't know if I'm the best to be on this YouTube ad because I'm a little embarrassed with how I look, or I don't know if I'm the best person to represent this. It doesn't matter how you look as long as you're authentic. So this was actually, me, like 4 years ago, I was 50 pounds heavier than I am now. So, obviously this was before I figured out, how to, proper nutrition, exercise, things like that. And I was, quite frankly, a little bit embarrassed with how I looked and, how I appeared on camera at the time. But I recorded my ads anyways. I used these strategies because I knew I could be that authentic authority in my space. And I recorded these ads anyways, to the tune of hundreds of thousands of views on these original ads that this was an ad from about 4 years ago. And I recorded these ads anyways, and they performed because I was an expert and people were connecting with me as an authentic authority. Didn't matter what I looked like, it just mattered what I was saying, right? And so that's really important. If you're thinking about, hey, maybe I'm not the best person, or you're embarrassed a little bit with how you look or how you're gonna show up, you are the best person to represent your brand because you have that passion, you have that excitement. You are the face of your brand. It doesn't matter what you look like or who you are. You can show up on video and succeed on YouTube. And I just wanted to add that element because a lot of people are concerned about creating these videos. You can absolutely do it. All you need to do, pick up your phone, pick up your gimbal, hit record, and you are good to go. Now there's also, for those of you in the room who are in e-commerce, what we have found works incredibly well for e-commerce is our influencer YouTube strategy, where you hire an influencer for your YouTube ad. They create a video that feels like a review, feels like a tutorial or review style video. They create that video and then you run that as an ad, and it works incredibly, incredibly well. And the other benefit is you can get multiple influencers to create videos for your e-commerce product. You can split test all of those videos, and you get the added benefit that these influencers, as part of their deal, will post these videos up on their channel. So oftentimes what we've found with our clients is these ads pay for themselves because the influencer posts it, they get purchases. This is more for e-commerce. They get e-commerce purchases from the influencer posting that ad or the video. Then you can run that as a YouTube ad. So conversion-centric targeting. Now we're gonna transition into how to target the right people. So we spent all this time talking about how to have the perfect crafted YouTube ad. Well, now how do you pinpoint the perfect people with that ad? And that's with conversion-centric targeting, and that's with our strategy called 3D YouTube ads targeting. This right here, what I am sharing with you legitimately is the secret that has allowed us to generate over 9 figures for our clients with YouTube ads. It's the secret to our own YouTube ads, and I wanna walk you through this right now. But before I can walk you through what this strategy is, let's talk about what it's not. Most people, when they're advertising, are only advertising in 2 dimensions. Right? On Facebook, you only have these 2 dimensions, advertising based on demographics and interests and affinities, right? So demographics, who somebody is, interests and affinities, what they're interested in. So the demographics oftentimes is the ability to buy, right? So where are they located in? Are they in the United States, right? Are they in a place that they're able to purchase? Maybe there's household income targeting. It's not as good on Facebook as it is on YouTube. That's another element. The age, different demographics about them, right? Is this somebody that's actually going to buy? So usually what you're doing with demographics is you're saying, okay, who can actually buy this product? And you're filling that out in demographics. Then you're layering it with the right person, interests and affinities. So yes, on Facebook, you can absolutely reach the right person with an ability to buy, but what you are missing is the 3rd dimension, because we live in a 3-dimensional world. And that 3rd dimension is intent. You are missing the right time. So what happens if you reach the right person with the ability to buy at the wrong time? They don't buy. Right? You may reach the right person, but at the wrong time, and that means they won't buy. And this is why Facebook feels like a roller coaster. This is why Facebook is so reliant on an algorithm, is because Facebook's algorithm has to guess the right time. You can reach the right person who has the ability to buy, but if you're reaching them at the wrong time, you won't get the conversion. And that's the problem with Facebook. That's what creates the roller coaster effect. Now, I'm not saying Facebook doesn't work, and for a lot of people, Facebook provides good results. Although with iOS 14, it's kind of crazy. But realize you're only targeting in 2 dimensions, right? And so what we're gonna talk about is how you can target in 3 dimensions on YouTube. Now, this has actually only gotten worse after the recent iOS updates, because Facebook is so reliant on their algorithm. The iOS updates makes their algorithm worse. Now, there are some impacts with iOS on YouTube as well, but because YouTube is targeting based on the videos people are watching and first-party data that Google has about you as a YouTube user, not as reliant as Facebook is on all of their third-party data, then you're able to more efficiently reach the right people. But anyways, that is why Facebook ads feel like a roller coaster, is you're trying to reach in a 3-dimensional world someone, but with only using 2 dimensions. Now, most people, when they try YouTube, they make a critical mistake. And that mistake is they, look at their targeting over on Facebook and they say, well, I'm gonna target in 2 dimensions on YouTube. Now, people say, okay, wait a second, I'm not just gonna target demographics and interests, I'm gonna target intent, specific video targeting, which is really powerful on YouTube, targeting in front of keywords, in front of topics, in front of collections of videos. But the problem here is you're now reaching someone with the ability to buy at the right time, but what if they're not the right person? What if they don't actually fit your ideal avatar? What if they're not an actual buyer? So you'll run into another issue when you try to target this way on YouTube. Now, some people actually treat YouTube like Facebook, and they go in and they set up interests and affinities, but no targeting based on the videos, and they do an opposite problem. They target people with the ability to buy and the right person, but not at the right time. So here you're targeting in a different two dimensions, and you're wondering, why are my ads not converting the way that, people talk about YouTube ads converting, right? In the way that our clients see and the way that we see with our YouTube ads with those high performance. And that's because you're not leveraging the full power of YouTube, because you can't target in 3 dimensions on Facebook. It's just a limitation of the platform, at least right now, but you can on YouTube. And we live in a 3-dimensional world. Therefore, in order to get conversions, you must reach the right person with the ability to invest at the right time with the right message, which is your YouTube ad for your ads to convert. Now, this is really, really important, so I'm actually going to go through these slides one more time, really just to drive this message home. We live in a 3-dimensional world. Therefore, in order to get conversions, we must reach the right person with the ability to invest at the right time with the right message, which is your YouTube ad, in order for your ads to convert. And that is the 3D YouTube targeting strategy. When you have all of these elements together, you can get that perfect sweet spot right in the middle, which is your ideal client. So you're layering demographics, interests and affinities, intent, which is your video targeting. You're reaching the right person with the ability to invest at the right time with the right video ad, which is your YouTube ad. And that is what lands you the conversions you're looking for, right? When all of these things are in alignment, you win. Full stop. So now what I want to do is actually show you how this works, because it would be enough to show you this strategy. I see a couple people taking pictures. It's a good slide to take a picture of because it's an example of what you're looking to do. But we could stop here and say, okay, this is the strategy. This is, what you're looking to do. But what I actually want to do is show you how to do this and break down each of these different targeting strategies. So while some people are taking pictures, I'm going to take a quick sip of water and we will dive in just a second. Perfect. So this is the 3D YouTube ad strategy. You can also take a picture of this slide if you want as well. I see a couple people taking pictures here. And these are the different ways that you can layer your YouTube ad to get this formula of targeting those demographics. So you can see we've got some different demographics you could target. Demographics, geography, household income, which by the way is scarily accurate on YouTube and Google. We'll talk about that in a second. Right? Especially if you're selling something higher ticket, layering that with who the person is, right? Reaching the right person. So that's your affinities, in-market audiences, custom affinity keywords, custom URL affinity, custom intent. And then layering that with what someone is watching. So specific keywords, broader keywords, YouTube channel keywords, competitor keywords, topics and placements, right? What video are they watching right now? So this is the combination of who they are and what they're watching. This is the 3D YouTube ad strategy, and that's what I'm going to be breaking down here, is reaching the right person. So let's talk about reaching the right person. There's a few different ways to do this. The first is with the interest and purchase intention. So this is where you can actually set up, now this used to be called a custom affinity. Google likes to go in and rechange some names and stuff like that. But anyways, this used to be called custom affinity. It's now interest and purchase intention. So you could target someone based on their interest and purchase intentions, weight loss and lose weight. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, how does Google know all of this data about people? Well, it's not from third-party sources, which has been affected mostly by iOS 14. It has all of this data from their own first-party platform on Google. Think about it. Google owns YouTube. Google's the largest search engine in the world. YouTube's the second largest search engine in the world. They know everything you're looking up. Also, a lot of people have Gmail installed, right? Use Gmail, Chrome installed. Use Gmail. Google's reading all your emails. There's a reason Gmail is free. If you have Google Chrome installed, they're looking at your web browsing activity. And Here's another element. Google Analytics is installed on the vast majority of websites online. So Google has data about who you are and where you are, more data than Facebook, much more data. There's certain sites with the literally millions and millions and millions of data points that Google has on every single person on its platform. So it's really good at pinpointing the perfect person. As you can see here, if you want to add an interest, weight loss, lose weight. Now this is what somebody's interested in. This is not what they're looking up right now. So this is reaching the right person with some interests. Now you can also create lookalikes. They're called similar audiences on YouTube, but I know a lot of you are used to the term lookalikes. But you can see here, you can also create this as well with your own data. So you can go in, plug in similar to all converters, similar to all of your leads. Once you get to a certain threshold with Google as well, you can upload different lists. And then you can also reach Google's custom in-market audiences. Now, all of these are different ways to reach the right person. So you see with these in-market audiences, you can reach somebody in the market for marketing and advertising services. That's perfect for me. Somebody who's in the market for marketing and advertising, great. I would love to reach that person. But again, remember, you want to target in 3 dimensions. If you just reach that on its own, you're going to overpay because maybe you're not reaching them at the right time or with the ability to invest. So that's why we layer. We'll show you that in a second. But you can see here, there's all of these different in-market audiences that Google built. Google's also built life events as well. Business creation, college graduation, home renovation, job change, marriage, moving and moving soon. That's great for the clients that we have that are in real estate, mortgage, insurance, right? People who are moving soon. They even have detailed demographics that go a layer deeper than the person you're targeting. Look at this. You could target parents of kids of certain ages. This shows you how much data Google really has about every single person. You can layer all these different affinities, right? So affinities is more based on their interests, things like that, versus purchase intentions. You can also build what's called a Google search intent. Now, this is really powerful because you can target people on YouTube based on what they're searching on Google. So how does this Google search intent work? Well, what you're able to do is actually go in and set this up and add in keywords, especially if you're already running PPC campaigns. This is great because you can put those same keywords you've used in your PPC campaigns that perform the best into this Google search intent and reach people when they're not searching on Google, but they're now on YouTube, but in the past, they've searched these terms on Google. So somebody in the past who has searched how to lose weight, best diet, all those things on Google, you can now target them over on YouTube. I've had a lot of people ask me, well, how can I expand the impact of my best performing Google PPC campaigns, create a Google search intent audience based on those best Google search PPC keywords? Now we'll go another layer. You can actually target people based on URLs that they've been on in the past. Look at this. This is crazy. Now, it's not just the people that have been on these URLs. It's also people similar to those who have been on these URLs. We've done some testing with this. It's pretty accurate in terms of the types of people who have been on these sites in the past. It's really good at knowing that. You might be asking yourself, well, how does Google know who's been on certain sites and who are similar to people that have been on certain sites? Well, how do you think? Google search, people go to Google search first, they click on the sites, Google has that data. People, use their Google Chrome for their web browsing. And even if you're not using either of those, you just go directly to the site, you're going to be able to track this because the majority of sites online use Google Analytics. So they know the websites that people have been on in the past, so you can target people based on sites they've been on or similar sites, which is really powerful. Now, remember, you don't want to just have this be your only targeting, because that's only in 2 dimensions. Can that work? Yes. But is that the most profitable targeting? Not necessarily. Now, here's another really cool one that they added as well. You could target people based on apps. You could target people based on apps they have installed on their phone. Now, this is, of all of them, this is the one that would be most affected by iOS 14. Just to be completely fair, it's going to be more powerful with people that have Android devices. The other ones, and the reason for that is, remember, this is more first-party data. Google's installed directly. Google is getting that code directly versus over here on the app audiences. If it is on iPhones, this can be impacted. We have seen some of those effects. However, it's still performing quite well because you could target people who have been on different apps in the past, weight loss apps. But think about this too. There's a lot of people, in this room who help people with, meditation, personal development, spiritual elements. Think about all those meditation apps that people have installed on their phone. Target people who have those apps or similar to people who have been on those apps. Google's really good at finding out the right person based on that. So all of these are the different ways on YouTube and Google you can target the right person. There's multiple ways to find that perfect person. Now, the next step is with the ability to invest. Now, the first is, of course, location. So if you're limited to a geographic location, or if you're selling something a little bit higher ticket, you might want to choose a specific location with the GDP or the average income that's going to be able to afford what you're looking to target. Now, the other is demographic. So obviously on the left-hand side, you're going to do whatever you need to do with the gender, age, parental status based on your individual business, who you're catering towards, who you're looking to reach. But on the right-hand side is one of the most powerful tools, especially if you're targeting people with any higher ticket item, and not just, high ticket items, 10K or whatever and above, but also, $1,000 courses, $2,500 courses, because you can exclude the lower 50% of household income earners. Now, here's the really crazy thing. Google is very accurate with their household income targeting. We have gone into campaigns and people who have had YouTube ads in the past that were performing well, and we've gotten those campaigns to produce double the results just by, when we start working with them, just by changing the household income targeting. Absolutely remove lower 50% household income targeting if you're selling something, I'd even say over $200. Because think about it, the lower 50% in the United States are the people that don't even have $500 in their bank account. So they're not the people that are going to be able to make those higher end investments without obviously payment plans, those different financial solutions, debt. Obviously, if you have those elements as well, you can target that. But honestly, we found even people that have financing options, removing lower 50% really increases the performance of your campaigns. What I love to do is if it's higher ticket, going top 30%, top 20%. We even have people who are in real estate investing, right? And they're actually, selling turnkey properties or high-end real estate investment coaching, things that are over 30K and above, only do top 10% targeting, and it works incredibly well to reach the right people. Again, Google has all this data. They know pretty well where you're at, but the biggest thing they know is the difference between lower 50% and above. So at least remove lower 50% if you have something over $200. Strong recommendation. At the right time. So we're now reaching the right person with the ability to invest. How do we reach them at the right time? There's a few different ways. The first is placements. So placements is selecting specific YouTube videos. Now, this can perform really well at a small scale, but the downside with this is it's hard to scale this up because you're constantly needing to refresh these videos, find new videos. That's the downside with placements. You can use a tool to find a lot of placements. It can work as low-hanging fruit, but this isn't going to be the best, most scalable strategy long-term. You can go a little broader than that with channel placements. So targeting specific channels you're looking to run your ads in front of. So you can choose specific channels based on your industry. Then what you can also do is you can reach people at the right time based on keyword targeting. This is my favorite, and this is what I've found is layering the right person with that, ability to invest with keywords. We've found to be the best, because what you can do with keywords is if you have a keyword of lose weight or exercises at home to lose weight, right? Some of these different keywords that are maybe a little bit longer tail, if you have the right keyword, and there's all these videos on YouTube that now use that keyword. Now, it's not just based on the tags that video has, it's also based on other data around the video. So it's also based on the title, description, and even the content in the video itself. Google's transcribing every video on its platform and finding all of the keywords in that video and putting it together. So you could target people based on keyword targeting. We found this works the best. I actually, because I wasn't really satisfied or happy with any of the software out there that allowed you to find keyword targeting specifically for YouTube, I built my own. It was keywordsearch.com. Also, I'm very proud of the domain name. That was a great buy. But anyways, keywordsearch.com, what I was able to do is go in and create that software that helps you identify those perfect people based on the individual searches that people are doing on YouTube and videos, because it's not just based on what they search on YouTube, which is what a lot of the other platforms did. It's based on the videos themselves. How many videos have these specific keywords that you can target your ads in front of? So then what you do is you put that keyword targeting into your campaigns, and that's gonna allow you to target the right person at the right time. Now you can also target based on topics. This is getting more broad. So you noticed here, we went from very, kind of specifically targeted your placements, to channel placements, to keywords. That's where I like to do most of my targeting is in keywords. And then topics is even more broad. But topics are also really powerful if you have a very specific targeting on who somebody is, right? Based on the right person. So you can add topics as well. So now you got to combine all of this with the right message. So you have the right person with the ability to invest at the right time. Now you need to reach that person with the right message. That's your YouTube ad. So you can see here, you can set up your specific video. You can see my ad that I have here, the YouTube ads, beat Facebook ads every time. You can plug that in, set up the right URL, actually setting it up as a display URL. Then adding in your call to action, your headlines. There's also long form headline and description, which is how this shows up on mobile as well with those discovery style ads, which are the new responsive ads on YouTube. So that is how you can get the right video. And remember, just as a recap, that has the hook, educate, and the call to action in the video itself in order to make sure your video will convert or your ads to convert. So we just showed you exactly how to pinpoint the right person. Remember, this is targeting the right person at the right time with the ability to invest with the right video ad, the right message in order for your ads to convert. Now, I've got a little bit of a bonus for all of you. I was putting this in last night. I even, talked with Glenn earlier, and I said, hey, can I have an extra 15 minutes just to dive into this? I think I used up a little bit of that already, so I'm glad for that. But I'm going to take a few extra minutes and show you a little bit of my omnipresent retargeting machine strategy. What do you do once you have the right people coming into YouTube? Especially if you've seen my funnel, maybe you've seen this before. I'm going to break this down. I do need a quick sip of water, and then I am going to break this down. Perfect. So the omnipresent retargeting machine allows you to retarget all of those leads that come from your YouTube ads on every single platform. Now, what I want you to do is picture a gigantic microwave. This is your omnipresent retargeting machine. And inside that microwave is a big bowl filled with popcorn kernels. Those are all of your leads. Those are all the leads that come from your YouTube ads. Now, they can also come from your other ads as well. What I showed you before is why YouTube ads are the blue ocean, how to target the right people on YouTube, right? Remember, if each of these leads is the right person, that's gonna give you even more value. So you have all of these leads, all these popcorn kernels. But what do you do when you have all of these new leads coming into you from YouTube? What you do is you turn on the microwave, you turn on the omnipresent retargeting machine. You start retargeting them on every single platform: YouTube, Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, Twitter, Taboola, Outbrain, Instagram, Pinterest, Snapchat, AdRoll, and more. You target them on every single platform that they go on, because you know these are the leads that you have. I genuinely believe that the most undervalued asset in probably everyone in this room's business is your retargeting list. Think about how much effort and attention we spend on our email list, which is really important. I think a lot of people underutilize that as well. But think about all the emails that you send out, all of the segment, everything that you do to get your email list to convert, and all of your Facebook followers, your YouTube subscribers. You're constantly thinking about what to post, how to get in front of those people. You know there's value there. But what a lot of people overlook is that list of people that have been on your site, that have converted on your site, that you can retarget with ads, getting the right ads in front of them. Now, that's what you could do with the omnipresent retargeting machine. And what happens when you turn on that microwave, you start sending and warming up all of those leads on every platform. What starts to happen is that popcorn starts to pop and you start to get new clients coming into your business consistently over time. And then you're left with a delicious bowl of popcorn, which is a lot of clients in your business and lots of profits from your omnipresent retargeting machine. So you want to retarget people on every single platform. Trust me, it will pay off. We have not ever had a single client that said, oh man, I shouldn't have started retargeting on these platforms, or like on one specific platform. Every platform has the power to perform. And I would honestly look and go across every single platform out there and spend at least $5 to $10 a day on that platform. And a lot of them will actually pay you some kind of bonus. A lot of the other platforms down there will pay you some kind of bonus to sign up and just to test it out. And you will be surprised if you have a meaningful retargeting list. Obviously, you're just starting, this doesn't really apply as much. If you have a meaningful retargeting list, how many leads can be warmed up and turned into sales with your retargeting. And that's exactly what you want to do with the omnipresent retargeting machine to retarget people everywhere. Here's a couple examples. So on YouTube, I take a humorous approach. So when I retarget people on Facebook, I pop up with a bet you didn't expect to see me here, kind of like advertising on the enemy style ad, which is funny. Popping up on LinkedIn as well, similar kind of strategy. But you want to pop up everywhere. You can see all the different ways that we're popping up, banner ads appearing everywhere. We also do a lot with ad roll to buy up all that cheap inventory on every single platform. Whenever somebody's checking the weather, they see my face, they see me on the news alongside everything, so that the next time they're thinking about YouTube ads, they know exactly who to reach out to. And that's exactly what you want to do in your business as well. You want to retarget people on every single platform, and I promise that it will pay off in massive, massive dividends. And the long-term ability to and ease to close clients, to enroll clients, once you have set this up, also exponentially increases as well. So that's just a taste of our omnipresent retargeting machine as well. I wanted to add that into the training too. But let's loop back. Let's talk about the 3D YouTube ads again, just to give you a quick recap. Remember, you want to have the hook, educate, call to action. You can use the Lego brick strategy to film 5 to 10 ads, makes it feel like you only filmed 2 ads. You film those 5 to 10 ads. Then what do? You make sure you target the right person with the ability to invest at the right time with the right video ad, which is your message, right? The right video ad. And that is exactly what drives conversions. And that is our 3D YouTube ads targeting strategy.